Dear property selling professionals, it is great we can meet up again in our weekly Real Estate Selling Club's newsletter. Before speaking another word, may I introduce myself as Madam Sophia, the virtual assistant to CTM Joseph NG, your sales and marketing e-coach and e-mentor. Enough of my long intro, let us dive into this week's bulletin. Shall we? Thanks. Breaking news: Waiver rental arrears and late payment fines. Council urged tenants of commercial units at the Jalan Silang flats are pleading with the Ipoh City Council, MBI, to waive 3 months rental and late payment fines. The tenants told Star Metro they had been forced to close their shops in June by the City Council. SK Villa, 76, said despite that tenants received a notice from MBI to settle their arrears in September. The City Council told us to close our shops to prevent the spread of COVID-19. They, however, did not tell us when we could open again, he said, adding that about 12 tenants were affected. Some of us reopened our shops in September and October. I do not think it is fair for us to pay the rent for June, July, and August as we have been instructed to close, said Velo. According to the notice, MBI had given the tenants a 3-month deferment between June and August. As the term has expired, tenants are required to settle their arrears and fines. Velo said there were no clear instructions from the City Council. Some people have said that we need not pay for June and July. We hope for clarification from the City Council on the matter, he said. Velo had to pay Rm 597, which included arrears and late payment fines. Taylor Yip Hung Fook, 84, said he was forced to turn away several customers. I reopened my shop in September but was only there pastime. I did not take order as I was afraid that I would be fined, said Yip, who had to pay Rm 371. In June, enforcement officers came to check and reminded us not to do business, he said. Repairman Benmin Marion, 57, also hoped for the rent arrears and fines to be waived. I have not paid my rent from April to August. I have accumulated arrears of Rm 707, including late payment fines. I find it hard to settle the bill as I have had no income for a long time, he said. When contacted, a MBI spokesperson said there would be no further waiver of rent and fines. It is the responsibility of the tenants to pay the rent, including fines. The deferment given earlier was at the discretion of the City Council, he added. Source: Star Papers, November 12, 2021. By the way, are you happy with this week's bulletin? I hope you do. As for myself, it is very useful. You ask why? It is a serious warning for us to be ready for good times and bad time. Anyhow, let's pray that a win-win solution would be gotten for both parties. Agree or not? P.S. Please give us a thumbs up. Also subscribe to our channel so you would not miss out any of our practical and useful video clips. Alright. PPS. Before we part company, may I introduce Madam Florence, another virtual assistant to CTM Joseph. She will deliver a free chapter of the book, How to Close Every Sale and Every Time. Until we meet again, this is Madam Sophia wishing you goodbye and happy selling. Thanks a million.
Thank you, Madam Sophia, for allowing me to present a free chapter from the book, How to Close Every Sale and Every Time. By the way, before speaking another word, may I introduce myself to you as Madam Florence, another virtual assistant to CTM Joseph NG. He is the author of the book. Alright. Below is the free chapter. Chapter 15, the impending event, close quote. Tell him that, with the cost of labor going up, this may be his last chance to get your product at the present price. By William Davis in his book, The Super Salesman Handbook. For starters, the entire chapter on the impending event, close hangs on the question of the prospect must be made to feel that he or she must buy now to avoid a loss. Use this strategy to rob prospects' procrastination. You will find that one of the best weapons in your closing arsenal, if you are honest. This would work best when you can't sell more and better benefits. By this I mean do emphasize how your product will be missing out if he doesn't buy from you right now. Here are practical examples of how the impending event close should work. Imagine the prospect says, I want to think it over, or come back next week. You, the salesperson, reply, allow me to urgently write the order now. For delivery next week because, I'm sorry to say, next week the price goes up 10%. I'd like to give you this wonderful price today. Additional, if it possible, you should upsell more by saying, of course, but with over dozen cartons you buy this trip you get one free. So why not take advantage of the discount now? For the sake of clarity, there is yet another better way to illustrate on how to apply fear with the impeding event, close. It should sound like this. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the only one of its kind in stock, and I'm not allowed to hold it for you unless, of course, you'd like to put down just a small deposit. Yet, another excellent illustration will explain more clearly. Everyone would agree that it's a lot easier to sell an umbrella when it is pouring rain. Hence, the salesperson should always create a sense of urgency when the sun is shining by using word pictures and creating vivid pictures in the prospect's mind. The salesperson could also paint a vivid picture by telling this, imagining walking to work and having your new suit drenched. The bus is always 30 minutes late when you do not have your umbrella. Have you noticed how hard it is to buy an umbrella during a downpour? Make no mistakes, you must be honest when you apply this method of closing. This sort of close can annoy some people, and a salesman may be faced with the choice of applying or not to apply this closing tactic. Get my drift? Summary. To drive home the succulent points of this chapter, there must be some restatement of certain facts. Do recall the quote by William Davis in his book, The Super Salesman Handbook. Basically, this close is to remind the prospect to avoid a loss. Moreover, it helps to rob prospects' procrastination. Ideally, when the salesman you can't sell more benefits. Then he should work around the questions of price, gift or limitadi stock. The salesperson can also drive home the benefit using the case of selling umbrella before and during rain. Lastly, you the seller must be honest. Does this summary serve as a good reminder? You bet. Conclusion. Therefore, to conclude the chapter on impeding event, close, there must be a really strong emphasis on using attractive motivations for the prospect to buy. In truth, this closing method must apply genuine reasons to encourage the prospect to buy. It could by way of use fear, pride, romance, or the need for group acceptance. To round up this chapter, do take heed of the words of H. Robert Dodge. He was a Democratic candidate for District 147 of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. And I must say these words would be the most fitting way to wrap up this chapter. He states that even some insurance agents may attempt to close by stressing the need for the breadwinner to provide for financial protection for the family. Should he or she die or become disabled. Believe it or not, citing the adverse results of not buying now can actually make the buyer to buy right away. True. That said, it is at this point I shall gracefully end this chapter. Alright. Thanks a million. Hope to meet you again in the next chapter. End of chapter 15. PS If you like this chapter and the ebook, you can always order this ebook by contacting the author personally, CTM Joseph at josephsing@gmail.com, or WhatsApp him at 601-2387-8592. This ebook is currently on offer at only $1 United States and 99 cents or RM8 exclusively for sales professionals like yourself. It is for limited time only. So, hurry now to secure your order. Yes.